Salutations, everybody. Welcome to XAR on Twitch and YouTube. It is March 27th, 2025, and I am here on camera to start the stream. We're joined as per usual by the usual suspects. We have Neff Canuck. Hello, Neff.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Not too bad. Happy opening day of baseball to you, unless you're a Mets fan or especially a Blue Jays fan. We'll leave it at that. We also have in the room Shinigami Me Liz. Hello, Liz.
Hello, hello.
Greetings. Also, Bree. Hello, Bree.
Hello.
And Karam. Hi, Karam.
Hello, everyone.
So you may be wondering, Neff, why I have decided to come on camera at the start of this stream. Would you like the answer to that?
Well, it's to show us that you need a shave.
Should I turn this off and come back in 15 minutes or no?
Maybe.
Okay, no, the reason is because Liz sent me her birthday present to me, and she would like me to open it on camera live on the air. So shall we do that, Liz?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. You guys can all see me in the chat, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yippers.
Okay. So, yes, her gift, her birthday gift to me arrived today with all the other Amazon packages that have been collected and distributed to our house because I order stuff from Amazon. My dad orders stuff from Amazon. And everything, including Liz's gift to me, arrived this morning. So we were quickly able to deduce which package was from her. But I think the other reason I'm coming on like this, without any filters or any keys, I have my suspicions after putting two and two together. You know how Amazon likes to sometimes put stuff into poly bags?
Yep.
So, yes, I'm feeling this shape, and I have a funny feeling based on what this shape is, I have an idea what it could be, which is why I'm coming on camera like this right now. Any guesses from the gallery? As I
know it's not a razor.
What is this, pick on JR night?
Hey, that's a day ending in Y, boss.
Har, har, har. Y to you too. All right, let's see what we have. Dun, da, da. We have what?
I'm not sure what this is. I'm looking at it and I'm going.
It's a green screen.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. There we go.
Thank you, Liz, for the green screen.
You're very welcome. I hope you get a lot of use out of it.
I was this close actually to trying to start a green screen fun, but now I don't need to do that. So thank you very much. I would like to maybe install it now real quick before we play Tyrion Cuthbert, but it seems okay. I can get the tape off. This is heavily taped.
You're not meant to get in.
Yeah, exactly.
No. It's as we get older, we get less dexterous with our hands.
Well, it's taped all the way around this thing. I may have to actually get some scissors. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to have to get some scissors, unfortunately. So bear tight with me, folks. Neff, why don't you keep people busy for about 30 seconds or so?
Only 30 seconds. Oh, dear. Okay.
Or how long it takes me to come back.
Okay. Well, reminder, folks, that if you want to reach us on social media, you've got access through the various social media pages. Linktree.com/anime radio will get you to our Instagram account. our mascots Instagram account, which is XAR Mascots, our Facebook page, our Spotify our Spotify archive of our podcasts, xarpodcast.net, or your favorite podcasting platform. You can also reach us on Blue Sky at animeradio.bluesky.social, B-Sky. And you can hit us up on our Twitch channel at Extreme Anime Radio. You can also hit us up at YouTube on YouTube at Extreme Anime Radio. I apologize if I'm not as polished as I normally sound, folks, but it's been a long day, including almost losing my tires again with the same dealership. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys did this to me last time when I was trying to put the winters on. Now I'm trying to put the summers on, and you're like, we don't know where your summer wheels are. Cue me internally
sitting back
screaming.
down, putting on my earbuds.
Okay, it looks
what
like JR is
what were
almost
you
ready.
talking about?
I was telling the folks about my tire adventure.
Oh yeah.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. Let me tell you.
Okay, so let me take this out. It looks like a magic trick, but here it is. All right. So Liz, how does this supposed to work?
It attaches to the back of your chair.
Wrong way.
Oh my goodness. Well, it folds up
Need a
very
stick.
easily.
Apparently,
So
it flings out.
Yes,
Actually-
yes. We find that very interesting. Okay. So I see the straps back here. So this is what I have to attach to the back of the chair, huh?
Yeah, it should just go over the top of it. and-
Backpack it.
All right. Let's see if this works.
Either that or he's going to get taken away like Mary Poppins.
So something like this, maybe?
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Yeah.
It comes up more like that.
Can you adjust the straps, the horizontal straps?
Maybe it goes the other way. No, it wouldn't.
No. You're gonna get the back of your head. Live programming, folks. There's nothing like it. And now we see the native JR attempting to set up his habitat.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, this is
Call
the
the
best
surgeon
I can.
back.
This is the best I can do. How does it look at the moment?
Well, it's behind you. You're gonna have to be pretty tight on the shot. I'm afraid, boss.
All right. I mean, when I'm on camera, hopefully it won't be this wide. But now I can go ahead and see if this is going to work.
And now we see, folks, if his birthday present actually, works. as
Chroma
intended.
key. We're in business almost.
Like I said, just tighten the shot up, and you're in business. I think.
Let's see. Opacity, contrast, similarity.
Oof.
Oh, I think we almost had it dialed in there. There's a little bit of a bright spot behind from the light. Let me see what happens if we kill the light.
Don't go into the light.
Oh, you know what it is? It's the light behind me. So 1 second. Alexa, night light off. There we go. Now I'm a little too bright.
I was going to say you look a little bit bleached. Just a touch.
Yeah. Well, it's I think it's going to be a work in progress, to be honest. Actually, that might look okay. If I change the color temperature on the light.
Yeah, I think you're almost there.
There we
Yeah,
go.
they take a little bit of dialing to get them right.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely we'll be working on this as things progress. Alexa, lights on. We'll turn the lights back on. Yeah.
Yeah, now we can see your hair because when you
Right.
had the light off, your hair was almost gone. And I'm like, no, you do not copy my shit.
I don't know if this light's gonna cause a problem, but we'll, like I said, as Liz, as you said, it's gonna be a little trial and error to get this to work. So, thank you very much, Liz, for this. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna turn this off, and
You're very welcome.
let's see if I can.
Keep slipping off the button.
What happened?
I was trying to talk, my finger kept slipping off the button because I'm on
Oh.
push to talk.
Let's see if I can fold this back. So maybe it folds like that, and then loops back like that. I think that's how it was. Now the question of how I get it back in here.
Yes, trying to put things back in the container they came in. The world's
The
oldest
struggle
game.
is real.
Yep, I think I
The
got
world's
it here.
oldest game that usually ends in 4-letter words.
All right, so yeah, I got it more or less back in here now. Hopefully it won't creep up and pop out. So thanks again, Liz. For our next podcast, definitely we'll try to see how that turns out. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the game now. And yeah, this is a game that we kind of taken a liking to because of its heavy influence in. I gotta lower this volume. Hold on. There we go. That makes a little more sense. And now I'll go ahead and switch this over. Cool. Let's continue. Tyrion Cuthbert, attorney of the Arcane, which is what we started. I want to kill this Discord capture. There we go. Okay. Think we're in business here, so let's go ahead and I gotta kill this too. My mic's duplicated. I guess I never resaved this setup a little bit after Sonar fixed their issue with the live audio pipe, so that should now work. All right, let's see where we were. Okay, yes, we're upstairs in the McCoy Tavern doing some more searches here. So we're examining this area after the issues that we had with our first day in court, if you will. Okay. So again, this is like a love letter to Ace Attorney, but the interface acts a little differently. As you can see, we get all these magnifying glasses pop up instead of like the targets turning red or something like that. I'm gonna start down the hallway here. There's a door at the end of the hallway. It looks like it's seen some use recently. You try to open a door, but it seems to be locked. So it definitely the game evokes a narrative style like you're doing a first-person text type progress. Perhaps someone might have a key to open it. Okay, so we gotta find somebody with a key. There's some candles lighting up the hallway. They look like they used to be part of the old architecture. All right. I guess there are certain doors that are available here. We can give them a shot. Several doors lead to guest rooms. Aside from the rooms that you and Miss Tamora use, they don't look like they've been open for quite some time. Okay. Well, did we check everything? Seems like we have, right? Not getting out of any other notifications here, so... Let's try moving. Courthouse, Inquisition Barracks, McCoy Tavern. Do we go back to the tavern, I guess?
Yeah.
The first floor? No, we hit a dead end here. Inquisition Barracks, is that the detention center? You return to the cell that Celeste is being kept in. Celeste is our, the client we're defending, who's been accused of murder. Prisoners are unhappy as usual. The ambient despair in the air fills your mind like a horrendous stench. Turn this off real quick. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Oof.
You do your best to ignore you do your best to ignore the emotions of the other prisoners, but you haven't had much practice blocking out this many people. So remember, Tyrion Cuthbert has the Eye of Horus, which allows him to see people's feelings and see what their thoughts are. Kind of like the computer analyzing thing that Athena uses in the Ace Attorney games. As you arrive, you see Celeste huddled down in a corner. As soon as she sees you, her dour mood seems to lift, if only for a moment. Oh, hi, Mr. Cuthbert. There's no need to address me so formally. Just call me Tyrion. Okay. Remember, she is a mercenary, and she is a mage with the art of transmutation, the ability to change objects. Anyways, I came here to ask you some questions about the case. Right. Okay, now I guess we could talk to her. I'm sorry for freezing up like that. I almost lost us the trial. No, there's no need to apologize. This refers to back when we played the other day when he was stammering when challenged about something. You did great, but it was only thanks to her. If she hadn't calmed you down, who knows what would have happened. Is the music a little loud for people? Should I lower that a bit?
I'm okay with it.
You guys are okay with the music? Okay, because I did dial it down once we jumped in. But I still don't understand, though. Why were there traces of magic on my dad's body? Right, those traces of magic were on the sword and the body. See if we can look at the, Yeah, there's the murder photo and traces of magic, as you can see. Magical traces are particles of magical residue that are left behind when a mage casts a spell. They only linger around for 48 hours, and that gives you a rough timeline of what and where a spell is cast. Did you cast Mage Blade on your sword that day? I did. I usually cast it when I train in the morning. That explains why there was a trace on the sword at least. Did the trace on my sword leave the magical trace on my dad's body? No, magical traces can't be moved around physically. For a spell to leave a trace, it has to be active when physical contact is made. Really? What does that mean then? Whatever killed your father had a transmutation spell active on it at the time. The magical trace on your sword was just an unlucky coincidence. I can't believe this. Let's talk. Could you tell me more about your father? Sadness and surprise. Sorry, I know this must be difficult after everything that's happened. No, it's okay. If it helps you, I'll try my best to answer your questions. Were you two close? We were. I'm sure you know this by now, but I was adopted by him and my mom. But even though I didn't have their blood, they treated me as if I did. He loved me with all his heart until... More sadness and surprise? Until what? Does this have something to do with the argument that they had? The argument. I'm sorry to say this, but could I hear your argument from my room But I could hear your argument from my room that night. Could you tell me about what happened? For as long as I can remember, my dad has hated mages. I'm not sure why, but if you even mentioned magic around him, he'd fly into a rage. So I hid my magic from my family. Well, why even learn magic in the first place? If you really wanted to, you could have gone your whole life without using it. Ever since our tavern closed, my family's been in a lot of debt. I decided to become a mercenary and use magic to enhance my ability to fight. Most mages are in the nobility, so people will pay a lot for a sellsword who can use magic. So that's why she's a mercenary. Celeste's occupation has been added to your notes. Celeste McCoy learned magic so she could support her family as a mercenary. Apparently, many people will pay extra for a mercenary that can use magic. But I know now, learning magic was the biggest mistake I've ever made. On that night, my dad found my spell compendium. When he confronted me about it, I finally came clean to him. That's when he flew into another one of his rages. He shouted at me. He told me that I betrayed him and his family. I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how that must have felt. I deserved every bit of it. I knew how much he hated magic, but I learned to use it anyways. He showed me so much love and I just threw it all away. Don't say that. I'm sure he still loved you. No, I could see it in his eyes. He hated me. And then her thought on the screen, and he died hating me. You feel a sharp pain in your chest as you see that thought. Okay. Locked door. So there's a locked room in the tavern. It's at the very end of the hallway upstairs. The Inquisition probably searched it already, but I just wanted to investigate it to make sure. A locked room at the end of the hallway? I think that's my room. Do you know how I could get in there? It's the only room in the tavern that I haven't investigated. You feel a suspicious gaze from Celeste. What's that look for? I'm your lawyer. I'm not going to do anything weird. Sorry, you're right. Here, you can use this key to get inside. She has a key in the Inquisition barracks. Celeste's bedroom key has been added to your notes. Okay. Well, I guess shall we go to the bedroom then?
Crazy.
What'd you say?
I said phrasing.
I said ooh la la.
Ooh la la. You know what? I'm gonna have to turn down this music because I can't hear you guys very well. I don't know about you guys, but I'm gonna have to turn this down. I don't know if that affects you guys listening on the stream a little bit, but hard for me to make the other guys out for some reason. All right. Let's move to Celeste's bedroom. You use the key to enter Celeste's room. However, you're startled when you notice that somebody else is already inside. Uh-oh. I've already told you knights everything that I know. What more do you... Oh, aren't you Celeste's attorney? I am. Who are you? Oh, how rude of me. I'm Jolene McCoy. I'm Celeste's mother. Jolene McCoy, occupation unemployed. I was at the trial this morning. I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for my daughter. So this is Celeste's mother. She might be able to tell you more about Flintheart. About that, do you mind if I ask you some questions for my investigation? Of course, I'll do anything I can to help. Very interesting. Can you tell me why your husband hated mages so much? I understand that most people dislike the nobility and associate magic with them. But on that night, it's like he was furious at Celeste specifically because she was a mage. Oh, you must have talked to Celeste. I wasn't there when their argument happened, but I can only imagine what he said to her. Do you know what happened to him? Why does he hate magic so much? Celeste doesn't know about this, but years ago, Flintheart had a sister named Effie. When I was a child, we were friends with a boy named Garrick Pierce. He was the son of the ruling noble at the time. Garrick Pierce, isn't that the nobleman that was speaking with Steelwind earlier? We were all inseparable at the time. He'd always sneak into town to play with us against his family's wishes. They probably weren't too happy about that. He was quite rebellious back then. But he's a completely different person now, is what her thoughts are. But everything changed when Garrick began learning how to use magic. One day when we were playing together, he wanted to show off the spells that he'd learned. He was told not to use his magic without his instructor there, but he was just too excited. He began casting his spells, but something went horribly wrong. He lost control of his magic and fatally wounded Effie. Oh. We tried bringing her back into town, but by that time it was too late. She was already gone. I'm sorry, that must have been traumatizing for all of you. The next day, the Arcane Inquisition came to investigate what happened. House Pierce used their connections to cover up what happened. They even threatened Flintheart's family into keeping quiet. After that, the official story was that Effie had been mauled by a wolf. It's not surprising, the nobility seldom take responsibility for their actions, even for a mistake like that. Flintheart's sister has been added to your notes. Something changed in Flintheart after that. He began speaking out against the nobility. Eventually, he started hosting rallies in this very tavern. Each night, more and more people began listening to his words and joining his cause. The number of people that he got under his banner was terrifying. There was even talk of an outright revolution against the kingdom. That might explain why someone would go out of their way to kill him. I knew how much danger he was putting himself in, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't convince him to stop. His attitude didn't even begin to change until we adopted Celeste. Can you tell me more about Celeste? How did she become a part of your family? It all happened many years ago, back when the McCoy Tavern was still open. We were closing one night when we found a baby with white hair abandoned in the dining area. We waited weeks for her parents to come by, but no one ever came looking for her. And that baby was Celeste? Yes, Flintheart and I always wanted a child. I thought that Celeste must have been a gift from the Scaled Lord. But one day I saw Celeste practicing her magic. I think that's when I realized that someone from the nobility must have abandoned her at our inn. I didn't care though, I loved her all the same. I'm sure Flintheart did too. Wait, you knew she was a mage all this time? I did. You haven't known her very long, but she's a terrible liar. Flintheart must have noticed too, but I think they didn't want to believe it. And she's thinking it's my fault, I should have forced him to see the truth. Flintheart and Celeste. I spoke with Celeste earlier. She thinks that her father hated her because she was a mage. There's no way he would ever feel that way. He loved her more than anything in the world. No matter what he said to her that night, nothing would ever change that. After seeing them together, you figured as much. Celeste was the world to him. When we adopted her, it was the first time in decades I'd seen him so genuinely happy. They must have been really close. More than anything, do you want to hear a story? Celeste had just returned from her travels. She wouldn't stop talking about this foreign drink that she loved. I think it was called lotus juice or something strange like that. Well, Flintheart did everything he could to have it shipped here. He called in a bunch of favors to some of his revolutionary friends. but in the end he was only able to get a single bottle of it. Is it really that rare? Yes, I wouldn't be surprised if it were the only bottle of lotus juice in the region. Wait a minute. Lotus juice? Is this the bottle that Flintheart bought? You show her a picture of the shattered bottle you found next to Flintheart's body. It is! Oh no, he was going to surprise her with it. I found the broken pieces next to Flintheart's. Well, I found them in the dining area. That's strange. She'd been keeping it in our room so she wouldn't find it. Really? When was the last time you saw it? Right before I left the house that night. It was right before their big argument. So it wasn't just laying around on the bar. He decided to retrieve it after the argument. Shattered bottle of lotus juice has been updated in your notes. Right, you think you've investigated everything you can for now, but there's still one last thing you need to do. You ready yourself for one last conversation with Celeste. Okay, so I guess we're gonna head back to Celeste. Let's save before we do that. So let's move. Anything we want to examine just for kicks here?
Can we examine that photo? Or that picture, I mean.
It's a painting of a woman with some sort of aquatic animal. Oh, I love that painting. Celeste brought it back from her travels. Supposedly that woman is named Madeline Kipling. From what I've heard, she runs a wildlife sanctuary for endangered species. I think the animal in this painting is called the Fey Kip. Celeste told me she really likes them. Interesting. You weren't aware these kinds of creatures even existed. Alright. The table, I guess? There's a table with several chairs. It must be used for entertaining guests. Doesn't look like it's seen much use, though. The fancy-looking bed. Celeste had it custom made. Wouldn't something like this be really expensive? It was. I was really surprised when she returned from her travels. Apparently she was making a lot of gold from her job as a mercenary. Well, you and Flintheart must have been happy for her. We are, but I still wish she'd get a less dangerous job. Alright. That it, I guess? I think so. Inquisition. Oh, you're back. Did you forget something? Actually, there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Oh? Earlier you said something that I just can't let go. You said that your father died hating you, but after everything I heard about him, I don't think that's true. Your father loved you, Celeste, even in his final moments. You desperately want to reach her. If she keeps believing that he hated her, that thought will eat away at her for the rest of her life. You know that better than anyone. He's just lying to make me feel better. But it looks like it won't be that simple. You'll need to win an argument against her if you want to see the truth. Okay? Argument. Celeste's closure. Celeste believes that her father died hating her, but after seeing them together and learning about them, you know that can't possibly be true. You just need to convince her of that. Start an argument with Celeste McCoy? Let's save first, and then we'll do it. Because one of the things I noticed is in some parts of the game you can't save, you know, while you're in a situation like that, so... Let's start an argument with her. Hey, you! Argument! I know you're just trying to make me feel better, and I really do appreciate it. But everyone knows that my father hated mages. Okay, he's always hated magic. There's no reason behind it. The only option is to present. What would you like to present?
I was gonna say, yeah. Shattered bottle of lotus juice.
Lotus juice. I guess you could also make an argument of presenting this. Ever since his sister died, he's hated magic. Let's do the lotus juice. What is this? This is the reason why your father hated magic. I'm sorry, but I don't think I understand. Whoops. Perhaps it would be best to try something else. Oh, you can't, yeah, we're gonna go back and try again. We saved, so... Maybe I will present this then. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Check something here. Alright. I don't know if it's my place to say this, but there's a reason why your father hated magic so much. What? When Flintheart was a child, he had a sister. She was tragically killed by a mage decades ago. That's why he had such an immense hatred for magic. I never knew. That doesn't change anything. That's all the more reason for him to have hated me. He was selfish of me to learn magic. I knew how much he hated magic, but I still learned to use it anyways. Magic killed someone that he loved. No wonder he was furious. It was selfish of me to learn magic. We have to present something else. Any thoughts, Liz?
What's the compendium say?
Spell Companion contains the formula for Mage Blade.
Okay, definitely not that.
Celeste McCoy learned magic. She could support her family as a mercenary. Apparently, many people pay extra for mercenary that can use magic. How about this?
Yeah. Yep.
All right. But you didn't learn magic to benefit yourself, did you? You learned it to save your family after your tavern was shut down. That's... You're a good person, Celeste. You did everything you could to help your family. I'm sure your father recognized that. Just shut up. Hey now. What? Shut up. Just stop it. Uh-oh. We pissed her off. Whatever composure she had before is slowly breaking down. You weren't there. You didn't hear what he said to me. In his final moments, he can only think of how I betrayed him. I could see it in his eyes. There's no way he would ever forgive me. Now I think we present the juice, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Take a look at this picture, Celeste. A shattered bottle? Wait, is that a bottle of lotus juice? Do you know where I found this? On the floor of your family's inn. What? That can't be true. I tried to find it here, but no one sells it in Wyverngard. Your father knew how much you loved this drink. He called in quite a few favors just so he could have it imported for you. What? He did that? Your father didn't hate you, Celeste. He loved you more than anything. That doesn't change anything. If he did that all for me, it was before he knew about my secret. I'm sure he never would have done that if he knew the truth. That's not true at all. What the hell would you know about him? You barely even knew him. How could you possibly know how he felt about me? Don't you think I want to believe that he still loved me before he died? But I know the truth. There's no way he would ever forgive me for what I did. It's not just the fact that he bought that drink for you. It's also where the bottle was when it shattered. What do you mean? Your mother said that the bottle was stored in her room before your argument. But I found the shattered bottle in the lobby where his body was. I ran into him before I went to look for you. He was going upstairs to his room. That can only mean one thing. He went to retrieve the bottle after your argument ended. What? Why would he have it? It's because he was going to give it to you, Celeste. He was going to give you a gift to apologize for what he said to you. He was going to apologize? Your father loved you, Celeste, and as tragic as it is, he was going to try to apologize to you before he was murdered. There it goes. I don't like this. My daughter working as a mercenary of all things. Come on, Dad. You know I can handle myself. I don't doubt it, but you still shouldn't have to risk your neck for our sakes. They closed the inn, Dad. We won't be able to survive unless I do this. Just be careful, okay? I don't know what I'd do if anything happened to you. No matter what anyone says, you're our daughter, and we'll love you until the day we die. Dad, how could I ever think that? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Dad. Celeste had barely been keeping it together throughout the whole argument, but her realization is finally causing her to break down. She begins crying loudly as she quickly embraces you. In this cold, dark place, she probably hadn't felt warmth of any kind for days. You're caught off guard and feel a little embarrassed, but you comfort her while she vents her emotions. Argument 1. Are you feeling better? Yeah, I think I'm okay now. I've been thinking such horrible things this entire time. She looks at you and gives you a warm smile. It's probably the first time you've seen her genuinely smile since this whole ordeal started. Thank you. But is everything really going to be okay? I'll make sure of it. I'll get justice for you and your father. Doesn't matter who stands in my way. Even if they're a man, a king, or a god. You're completely different now. What happened to the nervous wreck from before? Oh, please forget about that. Anyways, take some time to rest. The trial's going to resume soon. With that, you've done everything you can for now. You've learned a lot about what happened the night of the murder. You just hope it's enough. But even with your investigation, you still don't know what the prosecution has planned. Okay, we better save, because it looks like we're back in court. I'll just override that. Yes, okay. Has Pierce told you all of the details, Mr. Rudolph? Will you remember them? Yes, I pride myself on my eidetic memory. Just so there are no misunderstandings, I do not approve of this. You said it yourself, Lady Steelwind. There's no possible way that I could have done the deed. It has to be the bastard child. We don't know what sort of tricks Ruby tomorrow might pull tomorrow. Just see this as a way of securing a just verdict. Would you like to save your progress? I just did, but okay. Here we go. All right, it's time. Hello, Cuthbert. Oh, hi, Miss Tamora. You're a lot less jumpy than you were yesterday. I'm glad to see that you're finally getting used to things. So what did you find in your investigation? You tell Miss Tamora about everything you've learned over your investigation. There aren't a lot of clues that point to what actually happened. Yeah, I know a lot of details about the crime scene, but nothing about the crime itself. This means I'll have to rely solely on pointing out contradictions in the witnesses' testimonies. Being reactive to the prosecution's moves is a valid strategy. Honestly, I think it was a miracle that you got the commander to cooperate with you at all. Right, you almost forgot. Commander White appears to really have it out for Miss Tamora. Actually, I wanted to ask about that. Did something happen between you and Commander White? Miss McCoy, please proceed to the courtroom with your counsel. Let's go, Tyrion. The trial's about to start. You should go. The judge is waiting. Right. Another secret is left buried between you two. Here, I like how the judge wields his gavel. Look at this. Yeah! Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Let us review the proceedings from yesterday. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation. Yes, I personally saw to it that the investigation was conducted properly this time. I see. I suppose that puts my mind at ease. At yesterday's trial, we found an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, the defense tried to push the following narrative, that a third party must have interfered with the crime scene to frame the defendant. However, the prosecution has discovered another explanation. Because of that, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. His eyewitness account will clear up what actually happened. Interesting. It was my understanding that the individual in question wanted to remain anonymous. Supposedly this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After yesterday's proceedings, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. So that's her plan. But why would the witness change his mind like that? Does Steel Wind persuade him? Or is something else happening here? Very well, let's hear from this witness. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name is Rise Reginald Rudolph. Is it Rise or Rees?
I would say Rise.
Rise Reginald Rudolph. Rise sounds like a UK name, right? Like a European name? I am a chauffeur of the equine variety. Rise Rudolph, servant. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm unfamiliar with that profession. He means to say he's a carriage driver. Oh, I see. But in any case, it is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Rudolph appears to be writing something in a notebook. He writes with incredible speed. His pen only touches the paper for maybe a second before he's filled an entire page. Mr. Rudolph? Ah, forgive me. I was merely taking notes on the people in this room. Taking notes? The witness has a certain compulsion to keep a record of every event that he witnesses. I see. Then I assume we will receive an accurate testimony of how you found the body. Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed. Oh, did you now? And I wrote down everything that I saw. What? That is quite the claim. If that's true, why did you choose to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded that the evidence alone was decisive enough. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for his testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed during yesterday's trial. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the start. Something else is happening here. Very well, Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening. We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. This occurred at 1:28 a.m. Worried that something was amiss, I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. She removed her sword from Flintheart's back, and as he slowly turned to face her, she stabbed him again in the front. She soon realized that I had witnessed her heinous crime. She let the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. Incredible! If everything occurred as the witness described, I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence has always been irrefutable. You don't remember seeing him when you left to look for Celeste, but it was pretty dark. Celeste, did you see this man that night? No, this is my first time meeting him, and I didn't see him when I ran out of the tavern that night. So he has to be lying. Does that mean he's the one who killed my dad? She tries her best to hide it, but you can sense her restlessness. It's hard to say right now, but it's definitely a possibility. The defense may now begin their cross-examination. All right. I can save here, so we'll do that. Would you like to press?
I think we have no choice.
Who was the passenger in your carriage? Well, the identity of the passenger is irrelevant. This witness is the one who actually observed the crime as it occurred. If there was another person at the scene, they may also have crucial testimony. The passenger is under no obligation to testify before the court, and the current witness's account of the events is more than adequate. I agree. I see no reason for Mr. Rudolph to disclose the identity of their client. The defense must present a more valid reason to do so. Boo! We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when I heard disturbances occurred at 1:28 a.m. I'm assuming this disturbance was the argument between my client and her father. Yes, I heard two voices, one young female and one gruff male. Presumably these were the voices of Celeste and Flintheart McCoy. Right, that matches up with what the neighbors heard too. What did you do after hearing this disturbance, Mr. Rudolph? Word that something was amiss, I walked to the establishment to see what the commotion was about. You stopped your carriage in the middle of a job? That seems pretty abnormal for a carriage driver. What did your passenger think of this? He had no quarrel with it. What kind of passenger will be okay with stopping mid-drive? The passenger's thoughts on the matter are irrelevant to his testimony unless you have any hard evidence to prove otherwise. Now then, please tell us what you saw in the establishment, Mr. Rudolph. There I saw the defendant. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy and was channeling magic into her sword. Press. You sound certain that you saw my client and the victim. How were you so sure it was them? Flintheart McCoy and his daughter were well known within the town. Flintheart made himself quite known in the region through his social activism, and young Celeste dresses in a manner that is far wealthier than the townsfolk of Cornhaven. Do you live in the same town as the McCoys? How would you know about this? I don't live there, but my work brings me there quite frequently. The witness's place of residence has no bearing on his testimony. What matters is that he was there when the murder occurred. Why is Steelwind deflecting questions about his personal life? She moved the sword from Flintheart's back. She slowly turned to face and stabbed him again on the front. So you're saying that my defendant stabbed him twice with her sword? Yes, that's exactly what I saw. But there's only one visible wound on the body. If what you say is true, then that means she stabbed him through the same wound. Isn't that extremely improbable? Improbable, but not impossible. It is strange, I'll give you that, but nevertheless, that's what the witness saw happen. She's really reaching with this, but you won't get anywhere unless you can prove that he's lying. She soon realized that witnessed her heinous crime. She left the body fall to the ground and fled the scene. And you let her get away? I'm just a simple carriage driver. I have no way of combating an armed assailant. The witness also saw the defendant using magic. Did you honestly expect the chauffeur to subdue an armed mercenary? You suppose she has a point there. He must have come up with a detailed story beforehand and wrote it down. This little quirk of writing down everything is a perfect cover for him to read over his notes. I guess it would be hard to catch him lying if he has a way to keep his story straight. Actually, it's just the opposite. With all those details, it will be that much easier to find an inconsistency. You just need to find out which detail is incorrect. Alright. So, which detail is incorrect? Any guesses from the gallery?
The lights in the room. Weren't all the lights off?
Were all the lights off? I think you're right. What do we have that we can present to contradict that? Let me go to that statement. She was lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. Okay. What do we have that contradicts that? Oh, don't we have a broken power cell? Aha! Shall we, Liz?
Yes.
Objection! Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client murdering the victim. And you supposedly saw her casting magic while doing so? Yes, I can never forget such a grisly sight. That moment was burned into my memory. I see. Well, it's funny that you say that. How so? Because your entire testimony was a complete lie. What? Are you accusing the witness of perjury? Surely you know that such accusations can't be made lightly, Mr. Cuthbert. My accusation is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Take a look at this report. The dining room lights are artificial devices that are powered by an arcane power cell. However, that same arcane power cell was broken during the time of the murder. The dining room lights had no energy and the room would have been pitch black. The witness couldn't have seen anything, much less a homicide. Wait, I can explain. There's no need, witness. You could have easily seen another source of light. Perhaps one of the McCoys lit a candle because of the blackout. The witness clearly described a source of blue light. A candle or a lantern wouldn't emit a color like that. Then the witness was clearly mistaken. The witness records everything he sees in his notebook. He even remembers the exact times each event occurred. So why would he be incorrect about such a clear and obvious detail? No, what the witness saw was clearly some form of magic. And due to the lack of power, it couldn't have been artificery. It must have been an arcane spell. That's it. What is it, witness? I must have made an incorrect assumption. Please allow me to revise my testimony. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, I see no harm in obliging him. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, it's only fair to hear him out. You'll tear through each of his lies no matter what he does. I remember now. Yesterday it was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic. I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mage Blade, am I correct? That's it. The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mage Blade. I see. So the blue light that you saw came from the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may proceed with your cross-examination. With pleasure. Let's save again. Let's press. Yesterday was revealed Flint was still using magic. Are you changing your testimony based on yesterday's trial? No, I assure you that's not what I'm doing. But after thinking about it further, I think I finally understand what I saw. I must have seen Flint start channeling a magic spell. Wouldn't that be pretty noticeable and distinct? The witness is of the common folk. Furthermore, the defendant's magical ability wasn't known to many until the night of the murder. What reason would the witness have to think he was witnessing magic? He would just think that the soul was wreathed in a glow by some other means. The last part is a bit far-fetched, but you can't really refute it now. The spell was called Mage Blade, am I correct? Press. You seem uncertain about the spell you saw my client use. How can we trust the rest of your testimony? The witness has no knowledge of the arcane arts, I'll grant you that, but it doesn't matter if he was unable to identify the specific spell. The only thing that matters is that he saw it happen. You won't get anywhere unless you can prove he didn't see Mage Blade. That's it. The blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mage Blade. You still don't sound so sure of it yourself. I wasn't sure of it at first, but then I remember that Flintheart was killed using magic. Is it really so hard to believe I didn't realize that magic was used when I saw the scene? Suppose not. Not that you actually believe him. He just keeps telling lie after lie. Celeste's trying to keep a composure, but you notice her firmly clenching her fists. He's trying to cover for his mistake. I'm sure he's just making things up on the spot now. He doesn't know how magic works. I bet he barely understands what Mage Blade even does. Right, there has to be a flaw with his testimony because of that. Okay. I say we go back.
Look at the sword.
The murder weapon has no major magical properties. Okay. We also have spell compendium for Mage Blade. Oh, can we pull it up as a spell?
Look at this.
Mage Blade. For the duration of this spell, the edge of this object becomes unnaturally sharp. While under the effects of this spell, the object emits a yellow radiant glow. The target object must be no larger than a 5-foot cube. Okay, Bree, what's the problem with this?
It's yellow.
It's yellow, and what did he say he saw?
Blue light.
Blue! Aha! Present the spell.
Objection!
Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? Of course not. Are you trying to say that I should have recognized Celeste's Mage Blade? No, I admit that you probably wouldn't know about Mage Blade, but that's exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? Mr. Rudolph, if you were aware of how Mage Blade works, you would know that the spell emits a yellow radiant glow, which means the blue glow you saw couldn't have possibly been Mage Blade. This is ridiculous. I'll grant you that the witness clearly remembers seeing a blue glow, but what significance does such a minor detail have? It's extremely significant, Prosecutor Steelwind. If the witness did see a blue magical glow, he must have witnessed another spell at the scene. Preposterous. You don't have any evidence to back up that claim. That blue light made a large impression on the witness. He wrote it down in his notebook, and he specifically mentioned the color. There's no way he would be mistaken about something like that. So what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage at the scene? Well, Your Honor, the defense has no right to accuse the witness like this. Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you are found to have lied in your testimony, you will be prosecuted. More threatening than Apollo Justice or Phoenix Wright. Wait, please. Now that is quite enough of that. Garrick Pierce suddenly steps down from the gallery and walks to the witness stand. He's breaking every possible rule in the book, but no one in the room moves to stop him. The bailiff looks to the judge nervously, but the judge just narrows his eyes and carefully watches Pierce. Pierce, meanwhile, shoves the still flustered Rudolph off to the stand and begins addressing the courtroom. What is he even doing here? I will not stand by while you harass my servant. Pierce, we discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand. And what, pray tell, did they discuss? Nonsense, I have nothing to hide. And if you had done your job properly, I wouldn't have needed to intervene. For the first time, Steelwind doesn't seem to have control of the situation. What is the meaning of this, Miss Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you, Steelwind. I am the honorable heir to the Pierce noble house. In any case, I must apologize. I'm afraid that these misunderstandings are entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, Rudolph wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed the crime. I had my driver report the body so that I could remain anonymous. What? Are you saying that you had Rudolph lie for you? I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply wouldn't do for a member of the nobility to appear publicly in court. Lord Pierce, regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. But from the look on the judge's face, you can easily tell he won't face any actual consequences, because he's a noble. I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that, but I will be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crimes. Please let me testify as to what I saw that night. Very well. This is highly irregular, but I believe the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has hurt your credibility. Very well. Witness testimony. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Cornhaven. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. That is when I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man twice with her sword. Garrick Pierce, he's a member of the nobility. That means he's probably a mage, right? And he's the only other mage that was there that night. Does that mean, there's no doubt about it, he's the only person that could have left a trace of transmutation on the body? He has to be the mage we're looking for. Sad and angry. Sorry, this must be a lot for you right now. Don't worry about me. Focus on taking him down. Cross-examination. All right. Let's save. On the night of the murder, I found myself unable to sleep. I went on a leisurely carriage ride around Cornhaven. That seems like a strange way to pass the time. Not that you believe him for a second. The witness's eccentricities are beside the point. What matters is that he was clearly at the scene. I wouldn't quite put it that way, but nevertheless. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim. One will conclude that, yes. As we all know, both of them became quite loud during their argument. It's not unreasonable to say that the witness heard them from his carriage. Curious, I stopped my carriage to take a single step inside the establishment. That is when I saw the scene inside. If he was at the tavern entrance, then that would mean he was here, where the W is. Crime scene map has been updated in your notes. Let her title the location of the V marker. Garrick Pierce claims to have witnessed the murder from the W marker, but that's impossible. He wouldn't have had the proper lighting. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance? It would be quite dark considering the lights weren't operational, even if my client was using Mage Blade at the time. Ah, of course, I'd forgotten that detail. I couldn't see what was happening, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I remember it clearly. I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought that Rudolph didn't witness the crime at all. If I had to guess, Mr. Rudolph must have seen the blue light from the carriage. He must have made that detail a part of his testimony earlier. It actually makes a lot of sense now as you think about it. Rudolph was so sure he saw blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyways, which spell did you use to illuminate the crime scene? It was the Conjure Light spell. Luxo. Conjure Light. For the duration of this spell, 1 hour, a mode of magical light appears in the caster's hand. Color of the light is chosen by the caster and can be changed at will for the spell's duration. Mode of light provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. Okay. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, I'd like for his spell compendium to be added to the court record. I see no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree, the defense would need a stronger reason to requisition the witness's spell compendium. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. I used Conjure Light to illuminate the scene from the tavern entrance. From there, I clearly saw the crime unfold. Okay, I want to look at something real quick.
Wait a minute.
Where's the map of the tavern?
Right.
Didn't they say the spell was only 15 feet?
Yep.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's
So if we go by this legend, right? 5 by 5 square. 5, 10, 15. It would have been like more than 15 feet if we go by this, right?
Yep.
Yep.
So I think
You're a Lord lying sack of crap.
Lord Pierce, you said you illuminated the scene from the tavern entrance, and you only took a single step into the building? Of course. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. In that case, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. If we take a look at this map, that would place you right here where the W is. Am I correct? Of course I was. I do not know what you wish to achieve by having me repeat that fact. Well, I find it interesting that you illuminated the crime scene from all the way back there, considering that Conjure Light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? The spell's range is irrelevant. We've already established that the victim would have been illuminated by Mage Blade. During his testimony, Lord Pierce clearly stated he couldn't see what was happening. That's why he cast Conjure Light in the first place. However, Conjure Light doesn't work like a normal source of light. It only provides illumination up to 15 feet of the caster and no further. If he had stated the entrance, his spell wouldn't have done anything to help illuminate the scene. But what does this mean? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. Lord Pierce did illuminate the scene of the crime. He illuminated it because he was standing right where it happened. Mr. Cuthbert, are you trying to say Lord Pierce was that close to where the murder occurred? How would that be possible? Well, there's only one way this scenario will make sense, Your Honor. And that would be if Garrick Pierce was the one who murdered Flintheart McCoy. Ooh. Hold on for a moment. This is absurd. I could have easily used a different spell to illuminate the room. And which spell would that be, Pierce? The name escapes me. I'm not sure which one was it now that I think about it. You idiot. Well, maybe we can figure it out together when you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. What? This is a clear violation of my privacy. Steelwind, why aren't you objecting to this? If you had listened to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You've made your bed, now lie in it. Oh boy. Steelwind, you treacherous. Uh-oh. That's enough. It appears the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. Spell compendiums are added to your notes. Contains formulas for the following spells. Prestidigitation. Conjure light, conjure water, frost wave, shape liquid. Oh boy. All right. Anybody know what prestidigitation is?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, here we go. Prestidigitation. A snap of the fingers indefinitely. The caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect around their hand. This effect will last for as long as they maintain concentration on this spell. Conjure water. Causes water to magically flow out of the caster's hand. The water will flow so long as the caster maintains concentration on the spell. Acquio is the incantation, something Sailor Mercury would use. Frost wave. Outstretch both hands. Anything caught within range is hit with a blast of extremely cold air. Liquids hit will be immediately frozen. Organic life will immediately enter stages of hypothermia. Ooh, how interesting. Shape liquid. Fig aqua. Point index finger at the target. While concentrating on this spell, the caster can magically manipulate up to 10 L of liquid, 10 liters, and form it into complex shapes. Anytime the caster can choose to freeze the liquid and solidify its current shape, while frozen, the caster can also choose to make the liquid instantaneously melt.
Strange mutation.
Yep, that's, what is it? You think he might have done a few of these onto our victim at all? Maybe?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I only did one.
What's that, Neff?
I said I think I only did one.
Which one?
I'm saying he only used that spell once. He didn't need to use more than once.
Good job, Tyrion. We got a spell compendium. With that, this case is as good as yours. Or is it? She didn't even try to stop you from taking a spell compendium. She wouldn't let that happen just to spite Lord Pierce. Definitely still has something up her sleeve. Your Honor, I've looked at the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. Conjure light is the only spell he can cast that would shed a blue light. This renders his testimony and many of his statements false. You can practically hear Lord Pierce grinding his teeth. Your Honor, Lord Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. The defense argues that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit the defendant. I acknowledge that Lord Pierce's actions are quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. There is much more we need to learn. What? That's not how it works. We prove that there's reasonable doubt. That should be enough to acquit me, right? In a normal case, maybe, but it's different for this trial. The public won't accept an unsolved homicide involving magic. Unless we can unequivocally prove your innocence, the court will keep drawing out this case. But that's not fair! That's just how the system works. Our court system doesn't exist to exact justice. It exists so that the kingdom can save face. No. However, the court will be suspending the trial of Celeste McCoy until further notice. That is until Lord Pierce can be investigated as a possible suspect. Ooh. Uh-oh. A possible suspect? The very idea of that is preposterous, Your Honor. Damn it, you knew she was planning something. Let's revisit the basic facts of the case, shall we? Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Mr. Cuthbert, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Alright, his spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. You've realized it too, haven't you? Lord Pierce doesn't know any transmutation spells that can be channeled through a solid object. What? That can't be right. Ha, you're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. I couldn't have possibly committed the murder. I see. With that in mind, that will leave the defendant as the only possible killer. But he was the only other mage there. He has to be the real murderer. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him while casting magic. Wait a minute. How did he do it then? She's right. How did he do it? If there are traces of transmutation magic on the wound, then Flintheart was definitely stabbed by something magical. But none of his transmutation spells can affect a steel blade. Does that mean he used something else? The defense did cast some doubts on this witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude he could not have possibly committed the murder. With that in mind... Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime. What are you on about? Lady Steelwind said it herself, you commoner. I don't know any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade. He's right, which can only mean one thing. You didn't use a metal blade, did you? Uh-oh. What nonsense is this? The autopsy report clearly states that the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a blade, how could he have possibly committed the crime? Yes, your claim seems quite contrary to the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Which spell could Lord Pierce have possibly used to kill the victim? Which is what that's the one you mentioned earlier, the transmutation spell, right, Liz?
Yes.
So let's see which one that is. Not Mage Blade. Not Conjure. The droplet one? Shape Liquid. Okay. Yeah, that has to be it then. You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a sword. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a sword, by using Shape Liquid to create that object. What? I'm afraid I don't quite understand, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like for the court to take a look at Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a seemingly insignificant spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a body of water and shape it into any complex shape he wants. Then he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape, a shape like a sword. What? No, is it possible that he... What do you have to say for yourself, Lord Pierce? What do I have to say? Pierce's breathing becomes more frantic. He's clearly not used to being put in a corner like this. You can see his stress and frustration emanating through the eye of Horus. You have him now. Time for the finishing blow. Uh-oh. We can't save now. This is an argument. I'll tell you exactly what I have to say, you commoner. I'm not the one on trial here. We're here because that bastard child didn't know her place. She's just a peasant, yet she still learned the arcane arts. And look what happened. I saw the murder, I witnessed everything. That girl used our holy arts to murder her father in a fit of rage. I saw the murder, I witnessed everything. What should we present here?
Do we have to hit him over the head again with the fact that he couldn't have seen squat unless he was right up next to the victim?
Ah, yeah, so... That would mean... Contralight.
Yup.
And how, pray tell, did you see everything? If you recall, you testified that it only took a single step inside the inn. But you would have needed to be within 15 feet to see my client with Conjure Light. This again, if you're going to keep treading on that one detail, I admit it. I stepped further into the inn. I kept that detail out of my testimony. All because I knew that you used it to cast suspicion on me. Lord Pierce. But you didn't just keep that detail from your testimony, did you? You testified the opposite. That makes you guilty of committing perjury. No, I mean, you miserable wretch. Perjury by Garrick Pierce has been added to your notes.
Oof.
Wow, we actually have a note in F about perjury. How about that?
Definitely noteworthy.
And let's not stop there. For your story to be true, you have needed to be within 15 feet of my client. According to your testimony, my client had just finished committing a murder. Wouldn't she have noticed you? If you were that close, you would have surely been close enough to apprehend her. So why didn't you? Don't you have a duty to your citizens? Shut up. Shut your dirty peasant mouth. That woman was armed. I had no reason to put my life in danger. She was wielding her sword after the murder. I was terrified when I saw her holding that bloody sword. My life was in danger. She was wielding her sword after the murder.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You give
back
Bree
to
a... okay.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bree.
I was... I was wanted to say, because I haven't involved a lot of the others. Bree, do you have a guess before Neff gives his guess?
Can you click on the present and show the... Yeah. What's on the next page?
The spells, I think, maybe. Oh no, yeah, it's a scroll down. Nothing beyond this, I guess. So yeah. Any guess?
What's on the spells page?
Which one you want to look at?
See, I'm not sure which one though.
Okay. Nev, let's go. What were you gonna say?
What beside the autopsy? Isn't that the sword description there?
The alleged murder weapon is only a designed sword, has no magical properties.
But it has no blood on it either.
Has no blood on it either. Now I have a question. Liz, do you have any other thought before I try to figure this one out?
I'm not really sure on this one.
Okay, yeah, this is what I thought. There's a sword here, so he wouldn't have been wielding the sword after the murder. Right?
Righto.
I'm gonna try with this. But that can't be right, can it, Lord Pierce? This photo of the crime scene shows that the sword was left in the victim's body. How could she still be wielding her sword if she left it there? What? Damn you, damn you. Steelwood, why aren't you saying anything? What? Well, you got the prosecutor up in arms now. Prosecutor Steelwood has lost her usual air of confidence. You find it strange, though. Even when you had the advantage, she always maintained her usual poise. Lord Pierce, please pull yourself together. How can I remain calm when this charlatan is trying to frame me? This is a complete travesty of our justice system. I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal. And what do I get instead? Slander from some lowly defense attorney. Now what?
I came here to reveal the truth.
Which he didn't. He's been lying so far, but anyway.
He's lying like a cheap rug.
Just profile show.
Garrick Pierce, age 38, nobleman, arcane art transmutation.
Click on the servant guy.
The servant, rise?
It doesn't say what I hoped it did. I
No.
was hoping it would say something about something somewhere about Pierce not or wanting to remain anonymous, so he didn't come there to reveal the murderer.
Karam, do you have any ideas? I haven't spoken to you in a bit.
What's what was it on?
I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal.
Whoa. Oh, fuck off. Oh, who is it? Let's see.
We have these two things. We have Garrick Pierce's spell compendium and Perjury by Garrick Pierce, which sounds like the name of a book. Well, you know something?
Click away.
I came here to reveal the truth and testify against that criminal, but again, he lied. So,
Yeah.
I'm kind of tempted to show this.
Do it.
Hit him where it hurts.
You talk about justice, but you've committed several acts of perjury to twist the outcome of this trial. You're clearly not acting in good faith. You don't care about justice, you just want to further your agenda. So admit it, Pierce, you created a makeshift sword using shape liquid and you used it to impale Flintheart. You shoved my client's sword into the wound with the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it? Uh-oh. What? Lord Pierce, my apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious. Has he finally lost his mind? The defense put forward an interesting theory, but there's one problem with it. And what's that? I think you said it yourself. You shoved Celeste's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was a perfect crime, wasn't it? You see, it would have been a perfect crime because any evidence to support that theory would have evaporated with that frozen blade. What? Uh-oh. No. He's right. If he used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. Then that means there will be nothing left of the murder weapon. You spun quite the tale here today, but in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me. Isn't there anything we can do? You become quiet. Tyrion? Why isn't he saying anything? Is it really hopeless? But all it takes is one look at the expression on your face. Any worries she had instantly disappear because she realizes the expression on your face is the same expression you made every time you defeated her. What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost. I despise people like you. You twist the system to serve your own ends. You trample on the lives of innocent people. But as long as I'm here, I will never let that happen again. Empowered eye! Huh? What did I just do? Your head feels like it's about to burst. The pain is unbearable and overwhelming. Oh, is this the Apollo Justice Perceive type option, I guess?
Battery's having one hell of a migraine.
At the same time, you feel an extreme sense of clarity. You can see more than you could before. I can't believe that peasant pushed me this far. Once again, you see Pierce's thoughts through the eye of Horus. But this sensation feels different from how it usually is. It's more intense and potent this time. Almost as if you could do more than just read his surface-level thoughts. You've activated the Empowered Eye. With it, you'll be able to do more than see the witness's thoughts. You'll also be able to affect what they think about. Project items into Pierce's mind to evoke thoughts from him. You want to project items that make him think about the murder. Evoking the right thoughts will raise your insight. Once the insight gauge is filled, you'll have everything you need to implicate him. Can I save this too? Yeah, I better save this. Okay. So, Liz, what do you want to project on him? This is a function now.
I don't know. Is it the same options that we had before?
Yeah, clues and spells and profiles, yeah.
Maybe the spell? that he used to kill him? The shape water?
The shape liquid? Okay. Everybody want to go with shape liquid?
Sounds good.
All right.
Yeah.
Big Aqua. After all the trouble I went to, I can't believe that lawyer figured out the spell I used. Well, no matter. It's not as if there's any evidence to prove that I used it. I'm lucky that old fool had that bottle of water with him. Water from a bottle? Wait, a
A
bottle?
lotus.
Oh!
Lotus juice.
Well then, as riveting as this has been, I believe it's time for me to take my leave. Now wait a minute, Pierce. What is it now, you wretch? I'll say it as many times as you need to hear. There is no evidence of a liquefied weapon at the crime scene. So you're saying the lotus juice?
Yep.
You're right, Pierce. If you did use shape liquid on a body of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely. Ah, it seems you've finally gotten that fact through your thick head. Bravo. But let's not get ahead of ourselves, Pierce. What if you didn't use shape liquid on a body of water? What if it was another type of liquid? What are you going on about? Pierce, shape liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquids. This shattered bottle contained the liquid that you cast your spell on, didn't it? You show him the picture of the shattered bottle of lotus juice. That bottle. Pierce, I found this shattered bottle on the ground near the victim's body. I wonder what caused it to shatter. Oh, when he cast the spell, that shattered the bottle.
Yep.
You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, the victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid in his hands. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic? Uh-oh. You little... That still proves nothing. So what if there are traces of magic on the shattered bottle? You still don't have a murder weapon. I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in this bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So what difference does that make? A blade of ice made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade of ice made out of soda will leave a puddle of dried residue. No, it can't be. I wonder why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we check the outline of that trace, I bet we find a dried puddle of soda residue. That would prove to use your magic on that soda. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. And that's checkmate. Uh-oh. Bailiff, tell Orm to analyze the crime scene at once. We must determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find traces of magic is closing. So, we had our team search the crime scene for that soda puddle. I really can't believe it, but we found it. In fact, the outline of the dried soda lines up exactly with the outline of the trace of transmutation magic. There you go. We checked the broken bottle, too. There were traces of transmutation magic on it as well. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. I see. Thank you, Orm. Please escort Lord Pierce back to the stand. What do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? Huh. What do you think you've accomplished here today? Do you honestly think you can indict me? I'm an aristocrat from the highest echelons of our society. That fool of a man was an insurgent. He was a threat to society, and I did my civic duty by removing him. Bailiff, please escort the witness to a holding cell. Steelwind! First-degree murder is punishable by execution, Lord Pierce. I suggest you remain silent, lest you incriminate yourself further. What? You can't be serious. Shut your insidious mouth. Well, what are you all waiting for? Take him away. Yes, take him away at once. I can't believe it. We actually won. Tyrion, It's all she can do to hold back her tears. You don't need to see anything. Your face says it all. Thank you. You've more than exceeded my expectations today. Miss Tamora, I'll be honest, when I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought that the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. It was just luck. If he had used water, we would have been done for. It had nothing to do with luck. You were able to deduce which liquid he used, and you did it just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. Your skills of deduction never cease to amaze me. That's not exactly true, but with Celeste there, you can't tell her about your new ability. You are all quite lively. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Taker. Wait, what did she mean by that? You glance at Miss Tamora, but when she meets your gaze, she immediately looks away. She looks like she's focusing, almost as if to protect herself from a certain eye. I must admit I was hoping to test my blade against you directly. However, your protege proved to be a worthy adversary. Thank you? Is this some kind of game to you? You talk about trials as if there's some kind of competition. Your action almost condemned an innocent woman to death. Our system operates by having two powers of opposition. When those powers are balanced, justice prevails. Make no mistake, your victory today was just our system working as indicated. Working as intended? You know very well our system only exists to protect your people. I know. What? In any case, it looks like we'll be facing each other more frequently in the future. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. What a strange girl. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh, what did you have in mind? This is an amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry about the details. I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much money does Miss Tamora make? And so began my journey into the world of law and magic. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have my many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for every one of my clients. Episode end. It's a nice way to announce the end of the episode. This feeling, I knew it. His radiant soul has finally awakened. I can't believe it. I've been waiting for so long. I can't wait for the day when I can see his eyes draped in agony. And that's how it ends the chapter, huh?
Nice.
Well, Liz, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of the first chapter of the game?
I really like this. It appeals to me from my D&D roots.
That's why I've been relying on you a little more as we play this. But yeah, do appreciate you chiming in with your help there all throughout. Neff?
Okay, it's an interesting twist. The magic definitely puts a different spin on things. But I gotta be honest with you, that prosecutor's not exactly playing by the Book of Hoyle. Yikes.
The Book of Hoyle, well, that's a stretch. I remember playing those Hoyle card games growing up on the computer. That's why I recognize the name. Bree, do you like this game?
Oh, it's interesting. It really does open up a different way of thinking.
You're thinking about magic and colors and stuff, so it definitely has the various dimensions. Karam, do you like the game?
I do. It's different, but it'll just take some time to get used to it.
Yeah, I think so. We'll definitely hit this up again in a little bit, but this is an excellent first chapter to take us into this wonderful fantasy world. Kind of sounds like an alternate universe, if you ask me. Well, any fantasy is an alternate universe, I guess. So, all right. So, this is the last stream of the week, and I want to say, yes, this will actually be the final stream of the month of March. Our next stream will probably be, well, I don't know when it's going to be. We usually do Tuesdays, but Tuesday I have a little something going on.
I was gonna say you have something different going on, JR. We don't have to worry about Tuesday.
Pretty hard, mister.
Yeah. Well, if we do decide to do something, I will let you know. Aside from me maybe having to field some phone calls during the evening. Well, yeah. So just to clear things up, Tuesday's my birthday. So, yeah, I don't know what the schedule is going to be for next week yet. So I will get back to you and let you guys know. As per usual, through our usual social media platforms that you can see here on the screen. We have Instagram, more Instagram, Facebook, the website to listen to the podcast, which I'll hopefully have up by this weekend. I'm in no rush to put it up because, once again, the podcast was kind of more visual this time than, audio based. So I'm actually going to add a little disclaimer to that once that's ready. And of course, we have Blue Sky and Twitch and YouTube, which is where you're watching us right now in both of those realms. So this has been a wonderful week. We played some Arcane games. We did a podcast talking about the trip. And I had a green screen explode in my face. So, Liz, thank you so much for your present again.
You're very welcome.
I hope we'll be able to set it up in due course. Maybe that'll be my homework assignment before I come back on face to face here. So thank you for watching us play. We will see you the next time we stream, which could be Tuesday. It could be another day of the week. Again, we'll let you know on our usual platforms. Also, remember that if you like free wallpapers, we have one on our Discord and on our Google Drive right now of Sarah and Yumemi for XAR's birthday. In a couple of days, that wallpaper is going to go away. We're going to replace it with the new wallpaper that we debuted during the podcast yesterday. That wonderful artwork by Brenny. So the current artwork, if you haven't gotten it as a wallpaper, grab it now on our Discord or in our Google Drive, which you can get to by going to our link tree. Again, this weekend, probably Saturday evening, we will swap out the wallpaper once that new art is published. For everybody in the room, Neff, Liz, Bree, and Karam, I'm JR. Thank you for watching us play Attorney of the Arcane, Tyrion Cuthbert. We will see you when we stream next. In the meantime, remember,
Keep on looking out for the Extreme Mario Twitch streams, and don't forget, archive versions of our podcast are available at xarpodcast.net. That's xarpodcast.net or your favorite podcasting platform. Good night, everybody. Shazam!
see you next week, guys.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.